Unfortunately, our captain last game week lost by 2 points. We won't always get the outcome correct, but what's in our control is the decision. We'll always make sure we make the most informed decision every game week. First up on the shortlist is Parma against Everton away. I did say a couple of game weeks ago that's a difficult fixture from an attacking perspective. Last game week they kept a clean sheet at the Emirates. Salah's fixture right now is quite easy from an attacking perspective against Spurs away. That's because they've got defensive injuries, and Isak's got the easiest fixture on the shortlist against Ipswich away. The shortlist is a replica of last game week, so I'm not going to repeat too much on the non-penalty stats per 90 minutes. I'm just going to reiterate the key information from last game week and anything new that has spotted since then. First of all, there is a difference in the numbers. The expected numbers and the return points have come down for Salah and Parma, and they have gone up for Isak, so he doesn't trail by quite as much, but of course he's not a big hitter and he is a forward, so he does get punished for 1 less point for every goal scored. Last game week I said Salah's numbers would regress. His non-penalty return points per 90 minutes were 5.1, and after just 1 game week they're now 4.7. Based on sheer probability, I'm predicting that there'll be even more regression. I don't think he'll be a full point ahead of his expected numbers at the end of the season. Despite Salah's output being higher than Parma's, the underlying stats are just as promising as each other's. So like I said last game week, that data's better at projecting future return points than the actual return points themselves. So if Salah's ahead of Parma, it's only by a fraction. Parma's more than a fraction ahead on the set pieces though. He takes direct free kicks, indirect free kicks and corners. He is the set piece specialist at Chelsea. Isak takes the occasional direct free kick. It does depend who's on the pitch. Salah has took direct free kicks in the past, but he's so low in the pecking order right now, it's not even worth giving him a question mark. However, it is unquestionable that he's on penalty duties for Liverpool. In fact, Isak and Parma are for their respective clubs as well. Looking at the probability of each player scoring or assisting, Isak's got the highest anytime goal scorer odds as the forward, Parma's got the highest anytime assister odds as the most creative midfielder, and it's Salah who's got the best combination of both. He's got the highest anytime return odds. Salah's odds are clearly better than Parma's because of course you get more points for a goal than you do for an assist, and his anytime return odds are higher. I do like the fact that Isak's odds are weighted more towards goals, but he's only 2% ahead of Salah, and Salah gets the additional point for every goal scored. Plus with the higher assist potential and the higher anytime return odds, Salah's got the best odds this game week. These odds are subject to each player playing 90 minutes, and we will take a look at the expected minutes later on in the video. The points projections have their own interpretations of the expected minutes. It's Isak who loses all round here with the lowest points projections on both data models. Salah's ahead of Parma by 0.3 on Fantasy Football Fix and FPL Review. He's the outright winner. A couple of game weeks ago, Parma was facing Spurs and Salah was facing Everton, and Everton had worse defensive numbers than Spurs, and I said that Everton's defence is stronger with Branthwaite back in the team. I carried out thorough data analysis. I'll not be going through that again. If you've not already watched it, go back and watch that video 2 game weeks ago. And I also said Spurs' defence is pretty poor right now because of the defensive injuries, and now look at the expected numbers. After Everton playing 1 match because 1 was postponed against Arsenal away, and Spurs playing 2 matches, one of which was against Southampton, Spurs have now got a worse average than Everton. This video has been recorded before the Spurs press conference. We know that Vicario's ruled out till next year. Van de Ven is very likely to be ruled out as well, and Romero will probably be ruled out too. We can see why Isak's made it onto the shortlist. His fixture against Ipswich is undeniably the easiest on the shortlist. Regardless of the Spurs' defensive injuries, the defence isn't going to be as bad as Ipswich is. Before we conclude, we're going to carry out a quick risk assessment. Parma and Salah have had a week's worth of rest, and they played 90 minutes in the last fixture. Now Isak did only play 77 minutes, but it was slightly less than 3 full days before this one. That was in the cup for Newcastle, but his expected minutes are still high because there is no backup from Wilson whilst he's injured. So Isak's expected minutes are still reliable, so are Salah's and Parma's too, which is unsurprising. I've seen more than enough data to make an informed decision. I think Isak is actually a better captain than one of the big hitters. His fixture is very easy against Ipswich, and Parma's fixture is quite hard against Everton from an attacking perspective, so I think Isak's my second favourite option. But when you consider the Spurs' defensive injuries and Salah's high ceiling, with him having the joint best underlying stats on the shortlist and the highest output, I think the best captain this game week is Salah. I'm doing a double Friday upload, so don't miss my team selection video. It's going to be locked in. There's going to be 2 free transfers. I might use one, might use both. I might roll both of them. I'm going to show you the best fixtures for attackers and defenders and the best players to bring in for each position.